GTA 6 comes out later this year, and we have known for some time that it will be set in Vice City. So what better way to explore Vice City than playing the game that introduced that place into the series? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my favourite GTA game of all time, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. We start in Liberty City, 1986, and the mention of a name.
Tommy Vercetti? Shit. Didn't think they'd ever let him out.
At the head of the table sits a man named Sonny Forelli, voiced by Tom Sizemore, known for his roles in Saving Private Ryan, Black Hawk Down, and Pearl Harbor. Sonny and the other two men at the table discuss how to keep Tommy out of Liberty City after he has been in prison for 15 years. One of them informs Sonny that it is just drugs in Vice City and no family will touch it, so they set out a plan. They send Tommy to Vice City to meet a contact named Ken Rosenberg, a lawyer in Vice City. They will give Tommy money, let him do what he needs to do, and then in a few months Sonny and his boys will go and visit Tommy. The first part of Vice City we see is the airport, Escobar International Airport. William Fichtner, best known for playing Officer Alex Mahomes in Prison Break, is the one who voices the man that is waiting for us in the car, Ken Rosenberg. He is the lawyer that will be driving us to the meet where the buyers are interested in a partnership. The meetup is happening at the docks and it's supposed to be a straight exchange. That is until we see some masked men with guns who open fire on everyone. The only people that leave alive are Tommy, Ken, and the pilot of the helicopter.
I poked my head out of the gutter for 1 freaking second and fate shovels shit in my face.
Go get some sleep.
What are you gonna do?
I'll drop by your office tomorrow and we can start sorting this mess out.
Ken then drives us to his office and we start playing as Tommy Vercetti. He is voiced by Ray Liotta, who has been in many films, but most notably Goodfellas. He also made a cameo in the B movie.
Watch it, Benson. I could blow right now.
This isn't a good fella. This is a bad fella.
We interrupt your programming with a message from the State Department. Meteorologists are tracking Hurricane Hermione, which has devastated 5 Caribbean islands and is heading for Vice City. More updates soon.
As you heard, there was a radio broadcast that there is a bad storm at the moment and the bridges have been closed. The first location we go to is Ocean View Hotel, which we have already seen is going to be in GTA 6 along with the whole of Ocean Beach. Inside the hotel, Tommy calls Sonny to tell him about the deal and that it was set up and Harry and Lee are both dead. Tommy admits that he lost Sonny's money in the process but promises him that he will get it back.
If it was anybody else, you'd be dead already. But because it's you, because we got history, I'm gonna let you handle this.
From what Sonny said, he seems like a nice guy for not killing Tommy and just letting him handle stuff himself. With that over, we head to our first mission, which is the L on the map, where we will find Ken Rosenberg, who has been up all night drinking coffee, apparently.
I have been sitting in this chair all night with the lights off, drinking coffee.
He is paranoid and he thinks people are coming to kill him. He does have some information for us though. He tells us about a retired colonel, Juan Garcia Cortez. Cortez helped Ken set up the deal and he is hosting a party. Ken gives us his invite and tells us that we need to change how we are dressed and to go to Raphael's. We change into a nice suit.
Nice bike.
No, my bike!
And that is what we are taking to the party. First person we speak to at this party is Cortez himself. He heard about the deal and is also looking into it. He then introduces us to his daughter, Mercedes, and asks her to look after us, whatever that's supposed to mean. She starts off by introducing us to a few guests, starting with Alex Shrub, who is a congressman, and Candy Sucks, who is a movie star. We see an American football player named BJ Smith. He is a tight end, unfortunate name for a position. However, it won't beat the fact that there is a Denver Broncos tight end named Jake Butt. That's more recent player. He wasn't around in the 80s. She also introduces us to lead singer of Love Fist, Jez Torrent, who is voiced by Kevin McKidd, best known for playing Dr. Owen Hunt in Grey's Anatomy. And the final three that we see are Gonzalez, Pastor Richards, and a film director named Steve Scott. Another guest arrives, his name Mr. Ricardo Diaz. Mercedes decides to avoid him and tells him that Tommy is taking her into town. She asks Tommy to take her to the Pole Position Club. On the way there, she asks if we will be working with her father and tells us how difficult it is having a rich and powerful father. Sure it is. We take her to the club and that's the end of the mission. Back at Rosenberg's office, he tells us that we need to meet with a guy in the music industry called Kent Paul. He's apparently always at the Malibu Club and he is our lead for the streets. Kent Paul is an English character who is voiced by Danny Dyer. If you are from the UK, you probably know who he is. I don't need to go any further than that. He tells us about a chef that may have taken what was ours in the deal. He then acts like he is the reason that we are leaving, which I mean, he isn't wrong, but Tommy could beat him in a fight easily.
Yeah, that's right. Go and walk away, you mug. I knock you spark out.
We see that the chef is on his break, so I decide to run him over. You're gonna see a lot of that in this video. It seemed like the most effective way. Anyway, we grab his cell phone and then we are approached by a guy in a white suit. He tells us that that was our lead. He says we need to watch each other's back and to follow him. We run over the guys chasing us and we get to this guy's car. He tells us that we need protection and to go to the local gun shop. We don't buy anything there. We just stop outside and then head back to the hotel. He knows our name is Tommy somehow. Tommy gets his first phone call on his cell phone that he's just picked up, obviously brand new. Is a guy telling Leo that they have a buyer for Diaz's merch and to call Diaz. My guess is it's probably the same Diaz that we met at the Cortez party, but I could be wrong. We head back to Rosenberg's office and Ken tells us that Sonny and the boys from up north have been on the phone and they will be coming down to Vice City soon. But in the meantime, Sonny's cousin is about to get 5 years in prison, so we are sent to make the jurors change their mind. My dad once told me, keep death off the roads and drive on the pavements. I guess that person took it literally.
Dumb Florida moron.
I also forgot that Vice City is actually referred to as Florida in this. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all knew it, but I feel like it's kind of nice to hear in a GTA game, especially now because I feel like they kind of keep it under wraps a little bit more. Like we all know that Liberty City is based on New York, Vice City is based in Florida, and Los Santos is based in Los Angeles. But I feel like they've never really referenced it, and in this one they do reference it quite a few times that it is Florida. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, let's get back to this. First attempt, a police car turns in front of us while driving and I get busted. I'm not gonna lie, not the mission I thought that I would fail on first, and definitely not the way I thought I'd fail. I also feel like it's harder to be busted by the police in the later GTA games as you're more likely to be shot by them. But then again, I guess you could say the same about America in real life now. Anyway, moving on, we try the mission again. One of the mechanics I like in this game is if you fail a mission by getting busted or wasted, there is a taxi that waits outside to take you to the mission again. We smash up the first juror's car and tell him this as he runs away.
I can't believe this is happening. You remember Giorgio? You remember he's innocent?
Perfect scream, honestly. The next juror that we get to tries to drive away, but crashes and we have to smash his car to get him to come out.
Oh, please, God. Someone help me.
Not guilty. Understand? Good.
He also runs off screaming. Before this next part, I just want to mention this because I found it interesting. The cell phone in this game is based off the world's first commercially sold cell phone. That was a Motorola Dynatac. It was also known as Brick Phone. It was launched in 1983 and it weighed around 790 grams. At the time of its release in 1983, the phone was worth around $3,995. That is about equal to $11,500 today. The Dynatac stored 30 numbers and that was pretty much it. You couldn't use it for anything else. It was just phone calls.
Hey Tommy, it's Sonny. How's the suntan?
I ain't got no suntan.
We ain't got my money either.
Now, my question is this. Sonny called us, but how did he get Tommy's number? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. We head back to Rosenberg's office and we are introduced to RThree Carrington, who has a proposition for us. He tells us that he needs us to start a riot to put a company out of business. The company has land that he wants, but they won't sell it, so I'm guessing the riot is going to force them to sell it. I'm not sure how that one works, but anyway. At this point, I feel like Tommy just does as he's told. So we go back to Raphael's to get some work overalls because apparently they do everything in clothing. We start a fight in the yard, which gets the attention of the Patrol Invest Group, or PIG. Oh, I see. Okay. I made a tiny mistake with this. I didn't have a gun, so I couldn't shoot the barrels or the vehicles to get them to explode. Instead, I decided to improvise and just slam the vans until they catch fire and explode. The vehicles in this game are a little bit weak. A few hits and they start smoking white, a few more hits and the smoke goes black, and then after a few more hits, they set on fire, and then a few seconds later, they explode. Now this would have worked if I didn't get pulled out of the truck every 2 seconds. So, with 3 health left, I leave and get my car to run over the people that are pulling me out. Then I focus on destroying the trucks, and we pass the mission. Another phone call, this time from Cortez, as he is telling us that his team is looking into the meetup and how it went wrong. As this conversation is going on, you hear a guy near us get punched. Anyway, Cortez tells us to go to his boat and to talk privately about the deal gone wrong. We get another phone call from someone.
Get to the payphone next to the mall in Washington.
Another mechanic I like in this game is the ability to heal yourself through food. So we head into this pizza place and get something to eat.
I need something to eat.
It does, however, cost $97 for what I am assuming is a pizza. And people say things were cheaper in the 80s. Clearly not. This is an accurate representation of 80s economy. I start to turn around, and as I do, I see that the fight outside is actually a police officer being beaten to the floor and kicked in the balls till he dies. I also may have picked up the gun from the police officer. He don't need it now, he's dead. When I played through this game when I was younger, I never knew what this little pill thing did. All I thought it did is it just made everything slow. So while playing this, I did a bit of research, and it turns out this is an adrenaline pill that gives the player a temporary boost of speed while slowing down time. So while the game speed is slowed down, the aiming speed stays the same as it normally should be, but I don't think I have ever used it for that. I don't know, I think I just used to use it and be like, this is fun, everything's going in slow motion. That was pretty much it. But it's nice to finally know what it does. I get on a bike and apparently this is an insane stunt. It was just a tiny little jump over a bridge, but okay. We meet with RThree Carrington, whose office is in the back of a limo on a construction site with no construction vehicles on it. Bit weird. He offers Tommy a drink of whiskey, which Tommy says no to. He then tells us that he's got as a present a membership to the local golf club. Really nice of him to do that. He wants us to beat up a guy who he wants to buy land from. You can kind of see what this guy prefers. You know, some people prefer people, some people prefer animals. This guy just prefers land. Before we go to the golf course, we need to look the part. So we go to Jock Sports for a nice new outfit. The person we are looking for is at the range with his security, but no guns are allowed on the golf course. We enter and I pick up a golf club to look the part a bit more, but as we get close to the guy, he runs away and we get in one of the carts to chase him. His security pulls us out, so we get in another one, and I almost push the guy into the water, but he gets away. His security did what I tried to do, but they succeeded, and Tommy cannot swim. He could do many other things, but swimming is not one of them. So with that, we fail the mission, and we go back to get pulled out of every golf cart that we enter. We do get to stay in one of them and chase him to the entrance where he gets out to run, but it doesn't work out for him. You are going to see a lot of people run over in this. With that mission done, we can move on. Again, another thing I love about this game is the animation when you get in the driver's side of a Comet car. It's the jump. I think this was also in San Andreas, but I believe they took it out in GTA 4. I could be wrong with that, but I know it definitely isn't in GTA 5. Our next mission is from RThree again. This time it is to damage an office development to help with some other building he has planned. Now this mission I really remember struggling on when I was younger, and I know I've seen TikToks, Instagram, like I've seen so much about this mission and how people remember it being so difficult. I don't know what happened, but I managed to do this first try with 1 minute and 30 seconds left. And the helicopter wasn't even smoking white. I swear that every time I failed it before, it was just getting destroyed by people firing at it. But hey, I'm not going to complain. That was easier than I remember. On our way to the next mission, we go past the hospital where there is a health pickup. It heals us from 20 to 100, and then we move on to the next mission with Cortez. I almost did something cool with the van around that corner, but then it started to rock onto its roof, and once that happens, it just catches fire. So we're on foot until we get to the Cortez mission. Luckily, not that far. Cortez offers Tommy lobster. He again declined it, so I'm guessing he only eats pizza. This generation will say that autism didn't exist before the 90s. Cortez tells us that we need to kill a guy called Gonzalez. The reason being, he didn't really give much of a reason other than the fact that he betrayed Cortez and spoke about him. But like I say, Tommy doesn't ask questions, so we are given a chainsaw to do it. We get to Gonzalez's penthouse, say a couple of words to him.
I'm gonna shut that big mouth of yours.
Some stuff on the side.
He's got a blade. Stop running, you fat slime ball.
And he runs out to his car.
Oh, sweet Jesus. I've wasted my life and my looks. Stand still and I'll make it quick.
Now, I'm not entirely sure what happened here, but he didn't get in his car, so that makes the mission a lot easier for me. In order to finish this mission, we need to drive to a pay and spray to lose our wanted level. The good thing about this game, and GTA San Andreas specifically, is that you don't need to just do the pay and spray. That's not the only way you can get rid of your wanted level. There's these like star icons you can drive through, and when you do, it removes 1 star from your wanted level. So that makes the police chase a bit easier, and then I go into the pay and spray anyway because we still have 1 star left. With the mission passed, I start heading to the next Cortez mission, but I decided to do the first payphone mission instead. And that first mission is to kill a pizza delivery guy called Carl Pearson. I'm not gonna lie, it's one of the easiest missions in the game. You just knock him off his scooter, run him over enough, and the mission ends perfectly down the road from Cortez. Kind of like I had it planned. I didn't. but it worked out. In this cutscene, you can see that Tommy is starting to get annoyed at the fact that he isn't any closer to finding out who took his money. Cortez reminds him that this is not Liberty City and things are done differently down here. We are told that we need to meet with a courier who has some technology for Cortez. So we go and meet this courier at the mall, but we are apparently followed. So he starts running away with the guidance chips and we have to chase him down. Knocking him off the bike and running him over was a great idea until I realized that I had taken a police officer out at the same time. A 2-star wanted level, the chips, but I still got busted. That's great. I'm glad that that's how I failed. Back to the mission and we go again. This time we get the guidance chips and get away perfectly. We pass the mission and we go on to the next one. This time, Cortez tells us that he has dropped off something at a multi-story car park for us to help Diaz with a meet. Tommy has some words about Diaz before we start the mission.
Diaz, huh? Apparently that angry midget runs this madhouse. Let's see what that creep has to do with things.
At the multi-story car park, a familiar car pulls up and driving the car is the guy in the white suit who we saw when we got our cell phone. He tells us his name is Lance. After a long, quiet and awkward car ride, we eventually get to the meet point and Lance and Tommy agree to cover from high ground. Now, I completely forgot how bad the aiming was on this game originally, but I tried my best. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough and Diaz died and we failed. I start making my way to restart the mission, but we get a phone call from the payphone guy.
Get to the payphone in Vice Point.
Another thing I tried to do is look at the aiming, sensitivity, anything that can help me with the aiming on this game, but there is nothing. Once we get back to the rooftop, I read something that pops up in a message saying that if you press L3, that makes you crouch, it increases the accuracy of the gun. It does help to crouch, however, the only downside is you can't actually move, you can't walk around while you're doing that, so you just kind of have to stay in that one place. We make it through to a mini cutscene where some guys show up on a bike and one of them steals the briefcase of money. One of them crashes the bike or is shot off it, so I take their bike and I start chasing the other guy that has the money. I manage to pop one of his tires and then gun him down. I take the briefcase, pull off a celebratory wheelie that almost goes wrong, and then head back to Diaz. He tells us that he will see us soon and we are left wondering where Lance has gone.
Shit, where's that guy Lance?
Who'd have thought that crashing a bike would be a good thing? We got a call from Diaz because I crashed. He asks us to meet up at his mansion because he needs help with...
Dickheads everywhere, yo.
We get to the Diaz mansion. He seems a little angry.
Stupid horse! I'll chop your head off!
He tells us that someone has betrayed him and taken money from him. Apparently, this person has taken a 3% cut of whatever it is they were selling. He then tells us that we need to find this guy and follow him, not kill him. Tommy has some more words about Diaz.
This asshole thinks he can mess with me? If this is the best Vice City has to offer, this is gonna be easy.
And then we get to this guy's apartment, but he isn't there. He spots us at the top of this staircase and makes a run for it.
Oh, shit!
So we take chase across the rooftops following him and he misses every bullet on us. He jumps from the roof to the floor and gets into a dune buggy, I guess is what I'd call it. And remembering through this whole mission, we have to chase him and not kill him. So I am dodging bullets until one of them hits a tire on the scooter.
Lasers that won't skip.
But we continue until we get to what looks like an abandoned house or mansion. It's an abandoned building of some sort, and we pass the mission. Now, I see that we are near the payphone, so I head there and start the next mission, which is to kill a Mrs. Dawson. The thing with this is we have to make it look like it is a car accident. So I start chasing her, and I flip a car, get out of it and get into another one, and I end up flipping that one as well. She escaped, probably because I managed to roll 2 cars that exploded. It's impressive to me how I can have such a great display of vehicle control in this game with driving a scooter with a pop tire, but then 2 cars that are completely fine and have nothing wrong with them. I managed to roll both of them and make it so that they are just on their roof, on fire and exploding. Literally not even 5 minutes after the first one. I'm going to leave that mission for now and head back to the Diaz mission. Big surprise, he's angry again, and so much anger for a small guy. I don't know what happened.
What kind of incompetent fool are you? Fool! 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 Tommy, what do you think you're doing? So Quentin here. Quentin! Quentin!
During the cutscene, Diaz calls over a guy named Quentin, or as we know him, Lance. Diaz tells us that he wants us to fly over and kill everyone at that hideout that we found in the last mission. On the way to the helicopter, Lance tells us that it is obvious that Diaz was the one behind our deal gone wrong. He also tells us that Diaz is the reason Lance's brother is dead, because apparently Lance's brother was at that meeting too. Tommy responds saying he can handle Diaz and he is beginning to trust Tommy. On the flight over, we find out Lance's full name is actually Lance Vance. And then when we get there, we start on the rooftops, raining bullets down, trying to hit as many of them as I can, even trying to shoot some of the barrels that are around to get a few more kills. Make it a bit easier and quicker, you know? Next, we move to the balcony and take out a few there. Lance then moves down to an empty outdoor pool and a tennis court where we get a few more. Then to another rooftop which looks like it's on an outbuilding. I'm not really that bothered. And then we finish up at the front of the house where there is a balcony and a little bit of a courtyard. So Lance takes us down in the helicopter and we get out, make our way inside and start taking out a few of the ones that are on the ground floor and on the stairs. We head upstairs to the rooftop where we pick up the briefcase and Lance comes back to pick us up. This mission was one of them missions that when I was younger, I got stuck on for days. Again, it's another one that I did first try. It's kind of embarrassing that the only times I've failed missions in this is one when I got pushed into the water, that was my fault, and the other two are when I got busted by police. For the main missions, I mean. For the payphone one, obviously, that one was stupid as well. Actual main missions, I'm embarrassed. I can't even say anything. Our next phone call is from Cortez. He needs us at the boat, but I decide that I'm going to go back to the Diaz mansion, and the first thing I see is Diaz shooting a shotgun at pigeons. He tells us that he has the fastest boat on the east coast, but the boatyard has made a faster one and he wants it. That means we head into the downtown area. For this, it means the bridges are open, everything's back to normal. We get the greetings from Vice City loading screen, meaning that you're on the second island. The only slightly annoying thing is this happens every time you go from one island to another. If you're going from the first island, Ocean Beach, to the second island, downtown, you get it then. And if you're going from the second island, downtown, to the first island, Ocean Beach, you get it then as well. It gets kind of annoying after some time. Either way, we get to the boatyard and I die trying to get the boat. That is the first justifiable death that I genuinely don't think could have been avoided. It could have been avoided if I planned it better. But instead of going back to Diaz, I decide to go and see what Cortez wants. He tells us that he thinks Diaz may be responsible for what happened and the deal that went wrong. But for now, he wants us to steal some military hardware that is in the downtown area. So I get there and I realize something. I didn't think this through. I don't have a weapon. Oh dear. I luckily picked up a gun off of somewhere. I don't know actually who died or where I got that from. But yeah, I got it anyway. And I start shooting the back of the tank. Surprisingly, it worked. We get into the tank and I start driving it and I know that I need to go to a lockup for it. The one thing that I did forget with this is that any car that the tank touches explodes. That makes this mission so much easier because it also means that if any cars run into me, they explode. I drive the tank to the place that we need to go to and into the lockup. And once the mission is done, all the police that were around and saw me drive in there, they just forget that I stole the tank. You got to love GTA logic. We move on to another Avery Carrington mission. He tells us that a gang lord has died recently. He wants us to dress as a rival gang member and crash their funeral. Apparently, this will bring down real estate prices as it will start a gang war. Again, Tommy doesn't question it. We get dressed as a rival gang member and head to where this funeral is. After some time, the car we are driving catches fire and I get punched to the ground while trying to escape, just for the car next to us to explode, and yeah, we fail. I try again, but this time with a more head-on approach. Yeah, that didn't work either. I don't know why, I thought it would. I decided to take a break from that mission and try the Diaz one again. The one where we have to steal a boat from the boatyard. This time, I take a different approach and we actually get the boat lowered into the water. Managing to fight off all the people that are around the yard, we get in the boat and start driving it back to the mansion. On to the next Diaz mission, and it starts with him angry again. I'm starting to notice a pattern here.
Eject! Plastic crap! You doing this to me? Who do you think you are, you piece of plastic shit? Oh! Oh! Screw you!
This time he's shooting a VHS player that just wasn't plugged in. He tells us that we need to take the speedboat and win a race to a yacht where a guy sells merchandise. So we get to the boat and guess who is there to greet us? That's right, Mr. Lance Vance. He says he knows one day he will save our ass. So I guess he's coming with us. He tells us that we know it was Diaz behind the deal that had gone wrong. I feel like at this point Tommy figured it out. Cortez has told him. I feel like he didn't need anyone else to tell him, but yeah. Whatever. It turns out I wasn't fast enough for this one, so I go back and I try again. This time I make sure I am the first one there. On the way back, Lance takes over from driving and we are tasked with shooting the people that are chasing us. We eventually make it back to the mansion. I wanted to try the Avery mission again with the funeral, but when we get there, we receive a phone call from Lance. He tells us that we can do this thing. I have no idea what he is talking about. Anyway, I move into the mission marker. This time, with the funeral mission, I managed to kill the guy and get away from the area. Who knew all you had to do was steal one of of their cars and run him over. I'm telling you, it's the way to beat this game, just run people over. We get another call, this time from Kent Paul. He wants to talk to us at the Club Malibu. Seems important. Another call, and this time it's from someone calling me Leo, the chef that we killed to get this phone. We tell him that we killed Leo. That apparently is enough for him to decide that he wants us to work for him. Anyway, I head into the club and Kent tells us that Diaz has taken Lance and is keeping him in a junkyard in the downtown area. I feel like this would have been better to tell us while he had us on the phone, but whatever. We have a fast car, so it shouldn't take us long to get there. By the time I get to the junkyard, I do have to leave the car as it was shot by everyone and exploded. We managed to make it to Lance but die almost instantly. That's on me, that's my bad. Should have taken some of them out really. The next attempt, I have a plan. We go in, run over the first few. We get out the car and take the guns. Maybe try and get a few more with the guns to get a bit more ammo. Take the car that is near the entrance and run over a few more of them. Start making my way to the entrance and it all goes to plan until a tire pops and I crash into a thing. I don't know what it is. Like a slide? I don't know. Conveyor belt? Something like that. I get out of the car in hopes that I can kill a few with a gun, but yeah, no, I die instantly. Another attempt. This time, different plan. We get the car behind where they are holding Lance. The annoying part is I almost get there before being cut down once again. We go again, this time mainly on foot with a gun. Get in a car and move to the entrance of the building where Lance is. We managed to get to Lance, I would say safely, not really. Tommy says that he had a careful plan, but now they have to take out Diaz before he takes out Tommy and Lance. First, we have to get Lance to the hospital. Again, this is another one of them missions where I spent weeks, maybe even months on this mission when I was younger, but this time it took me 4 attempts. Tommy tells Lance to get patched up and meet us at the bridge. We get another call from Cortez. You get a lot of phone calls on this game. He tells us that he needs help from us again. But first, I want to try that payphone mission. Now, I know I don't need to do these, but I feel like it's a nice break because they aren't too difficult. And this time, I don't roll any of the cars. We're successful and the mission is done. Once again, it finishes near Cortez and I do crash the car near Cortez and it explodes. We also get a call about the next payphone mission and we head into the Cortez marker. Cortez tells us that he is leaving the country, but he is taking his yacht. We need to defend the yacht. I'm going to be completely honest, this first attempt, I didn't do a good job. Many people boarded it, we died, shit happened, we move on. Next attempt, and we managed to protect the boat from other boats, people dropping in from helicopters, and even an attack helicopter. Cortez tells us to take his own personal speedboat and asks us to look after his daughter Mercedes. We take the boat and this is peak Vice City experience for me. A boat on open water with Broken Wings by Mr. Mister playing in the background. Honestly, this game has such a great soundtrack on every radio station. I think it is the only GTA where I will listen to pretty much all of them. I do want it to be known though, my favourite is Flash FM. Let me know what your favourite is if you've played this. I would let some of the music play, but I don't think I can do that. I also think this is where my love for 80s music comes from mainly. That and I grew up listening to 80s music with my dad. There's a lot of nostalgia tied to this game, I will say that as well, if you haven't guessed already. Once we get to land, we get a call from Kent Paul. He tells us that there is a price on our head and someone is trying to kill us. Gee, I wonder who. We start the mission with Lance and move on to trying to eliminate Diaz. We take out a few of the people at the front and the front door is locked, so we have to move around to another entrance. Annoyingly, just before I die, I notice there is a health pickup behind this guy. It's the guy that kills me as well. I really feel like if I'd just run around him and picked it up, I would have been okay, but yeah, you know, whatever. Next attempt. And this time I do pick it up after I kill both of them. And then we head into the mansion, clearing out a few people on the stairs. Finally, we get to the front stairs, the main staircase, and Diaz comes out.
Diaz! I've come to take over your business!
Tommy, you betrayed me, you idiot! I'm gonna kill you real soon!
I'm going to be honest with this. This fight is quicker than I thought it was and a hell of a lot easier than I thought it would be.
You stupid pricks! My beautiful house! Look what you've done to it!
This is for my brother!
I trusted you, Tommy. I would have had you made.
Say goodnight, Mr. Diaz.
Now we have our first property, the mansion, and $50,000 for completing the mission. We get another call from Kent Paul. He's at a recording studio with a band and wants us to visit. Another call, and this time it's Sonny, who has already heard about us defeating Diaz, even though it happened like 5 seconds ago. We go into the next mission, a cutscene with Avery, Lance, Rosenberg, and Tommy. All of them are trying to give advice to Tommy, but apparently a lot of the businesses are refusing to pay us for protection because Diaz is dead. Tommy makes a plan that he doesn't really explain, but his plan is to go to a mall and destroy some of the shops there. While there, I accidentally picked up some new clothes. Genuinely, it was an accident. I mean, I can't lie, it is a nice outfit. A brown t-shirt and jeans, it's a great combo. Not bad. Anyway, I failed. The next attempt, I learned something very interesting about this game. As I finish destroying the last store and I walk out the mall to get into a car, the mission just keeps going, and I fail it again. It made no sense to me at the time because I did everything that was needed. I got to the mall, I destroyed all of the stores in the time limit, and I managed to get out. So I try again, and this is what I learned. Once you have destroyed the last store, you need to stay in the mall because there is a cutscene that is triggered, which shows that you can now purchase properties. It's kind of annoying that my impatience cost me the other attempt. But I mean, still, we passed. I decide I'm going to go see Kent Paul. On the way there, Avery calls us, gives us some advice. He tells us to keep our eyes open and we could find a good business opportunity. Once we get to Paul, he introduces us to Love Fist and they need help. What a surprise. But it is for something they call love juice. Sounds a bit weird. Anyway, we go to meet someone and he just takes our money and run. That's one way of wording it. But yeah, he took our money and ran. Safe to say, he won't be doing it again. While still on the mission, Paul calls us and tells us the band needs company. We go and pick up Mercedes, who tells us that she will do this if the favor is returned. Now, I'm no rock star, but surely they're just showing her the album they've recorded, right? Like an album listening party? So that kind of makes me wonder what she wants in return, because Tommy doesn't record music. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused about that one, but we take her to the studio anyway. Next mission from Paul, Love Fist is having an issue with a stalker, and they think he is going to kill them at a signing they are due to be at. Full transparency here, the entire time I was doing these missions, I thought I needed to do them, but I learned I didn't. So this will be the last one I show. I did a few others, but I'm not going to do them because they aren't needed. They're not part of the main story. We get to where the signing is, and I chase the guy that is the stalker. His car explodes, and we run over him. Again, the run over thing comes back. I don't know if it's just me or if it's genuine. Like, is it me? Am I the psychopath for running over people so much in GTA games and not using a gun and shooting them? I don't know how that works. You know what, let's not question that. Back at the mansion and another call from Paul. It's the next bonus mission. Back on track with the story missions and someone is refusing to pay. Lance tells us that he can handle it.
But don't worry, Tommy. I can handle it. You call this handling it? You two, off your asses.
This is where it gets a bit confusing for me because I'm pretty sure it's security that is the issue. So we take out the security at the front of this club and the owner of the club tells us that his main security works around the corner. We take all of them out on very little health and many explosions. At this point, it seems the best way to deal with people on this is to just run them over, especially when you're on low health. Back to the mansion and another call, this time Lance. He thinks Tommy is going to betray him and stab him in the back. Lance tells us that he can't take much more. Tommy tells him to relax. Next mission, one of the people that works for Tommy was supposed to set a bomb in a shop, but the timer was wrong and it just didn't go off. Tommy decides him and Lance need to dress as police officers to get close to the shop and plant the bombs themselves. So we get the attention of the police and take them into a lockup. We come out in police uniform and there is, conveniently, a police car parked next to the lockup. We get to the mall, plant the bomb, the shop explodes and we need to leave. We get into a car, Lance gets stuck and left behind so I have to go back and get him. He gets in the car with a 4-star wanted level. My aim was to just get to the pay and spray and lose them. It didn't go to plan, the car got set on fire, and I end up leaving Lance behind, but this time it is to get a car. I am going to go back and get him. As it stands, the only cars around are police cars, so I try to take one, realizing this police officer is probably going to bust me as soon as I enter it. But with help from another police car, he knocks a police officer away, and then that same car flips the car that I'm in. I then find a bike and hit a lamppost. We die and fail the mission because, you know, that seems about right now. Next attempt, and the same thing happens, but Lance doesn't get left behind. We do get rammed off the road and it sends us flying into a police officer. It's probably the best way that I've ever got a kill in any GTA. If you can even count it as me getting the kill, I reckon credit should go to the other police officer, but you know. The car sets on fire and I get away, but Lance does not and dies from the explosion. At this point, I had failed twice, but this was annoying me more than any other mission I had failed, even the ones where I had failed them like 6 times. The reason why it annoys me so much is because the police cars are so fast that they catch up to you no matter what car you are in, but they also hit you with the force of a tank and it is constant from multiple cars. Luckily, this time we get a faster car than the ones we've had previously. And I'm thinking surely we can get to a pay and spray in time, but nope, they're right on us again. We do finally make it to the pay and spray, and I hear a a little bit of fire outside. So I'll wait for the explosion and then back out very carefully. At this point, it's just a steady drive back to the mansion and the mission is complete. So now we have the asset for the mansion. Basically means we can collect money from it. I was going to say something really stupid then. I was like, I don't understand why we're getting money from where we live. But then I remembered the dude's running a drug operation from it. Yeah, sure. Okay, my brain is fried. Another call from Lance. He says that Tommy doesn't care about it. I will say, as I'm recording this, I realize that this is probably to show the effect of the drugs, maybe making him paranoid. I'm not sure, but it's happened twice and that kind of makes sense, so I'm going to stick with that. Now, the reason I kept doing the bonus missions, I thought you needed to complete them to progress. You don't. I did have to look this up because it's not really explained, and I'm pretty sure I did this when I was younger, but forgot about that at the time. From the RThree phone call, you are supposed to purchase properties to progress. The main one that you do need is Printworks, you'll find out why later, but then you can pick any 5 other properties, it doesn't really matter. From what I found online, the ones that I got are the best ones. The only thing is, I don't think I got them in the best order. Anyway, I go and I purchase Printworks. In the cutscene for the first mission of this, we find out something quite sweet, and that is that we find out Tommy's dad worked in a print factory and Tommy was going to go and work in the same trade, but Tommy's life went into a different direction. As we know, he's now here, probably after doing the 15 years of jail time. Anyway, Tommy says that he wants to print newspapers or magazines. The old man tells us that they should just print money. Apparently, he's been doing this in his spare time for quite a few years. Tommy mentions that we need better plates, and Florida is mentioned again. I know I mentioned this earlier, but I'm not really sure why it surprises me so much. I think it's because it's not really recognized now by GTA, or Rockstar, I guess. Whatever, that doesn't matter. We need to find out about this syndicate. We go to the person who knows everything about rumors in Vice City.
Look at the arse on that.
Obviously, Kent Paul. He tells us who supplies the plates, and they have a shipping company at the docks. He tells us that we need to speak to the boss of the company. So we head to the boatyard. Turns out the boat is heavily guarded. It's not easy to get into, and it's not easy to get out of either. In total, took me 19 attempts. Who'd have thought the thing that I needed to do, the one thing I needed to change was to jump off the side of the ship and back onto land. We get back to the Printworks okay, and we get a phone call. This time it's from Sonny.
Obviously you are suffering from hearing problems, so I'll try again. Where's the goddamn money? Where's the goddamn stuff? And where's my cut on your new action? You are making an idiot out of me, Tommy, and I'm not laughing yet.
The next Printworks mission, Tommy knows the courier is leaving the boatyard and he is going to grab the plates from him. I will admit, this was not my best plan for this entire game, for any mission on this entire game. Actually, I'll go as far as saying it might be my worst. Yeah, going into the middle of a group with no cover, I don't know what I thought was going to happen, but yeah, didn't last long. I died very quick. I take a slightly different approach the next time, waiting outside with a truck to chase them down. It seemed like a great plan at the time, however, a truck is big and slow, and yeah, this is going well so far, isn't it? Great plans. I try one more time, and I managed to set the car on fire, but the courier gets out. I'm sure you know by now, but I run them over. Pick up the plates and then leave. That is the Printworks asset complete. That means that we can now get money from that building. So when you purchase each property, there is certain missions or certain things that you have to do to be able to make money from the property. If that money symbol isn't outside one of the properties you bought, you can't progress. I think this was a feature that was introduced in this game, and it was also in San Andreas, but then I believe it was taken out after that. Next property I decide to purchase is Pole Position Club. This might be the easiest one to complete the asset for. All you need to do is spend roughly $300 in the back room receiving a lap dance. For time, that is roughly 5 minutes. Now, when I was younger, we had our PlayStation 2 in the living room on like one TV. Imagine having to explain to your parents that you have to watch the naked lady dance in front of you for 5 minutes to progress the game. Admittedly, I didn't have to explain that. I just woke up before everyone else and was very careful. The next property I decide on is the boatyard. These two guys welcome us as the new owner and tell us about the fastest boat that is at the boatyard. The asset mission for this one is just a time trial through the water on a boat, making sure to hit all the checkpoints. Again, a pretty easy one. Next up is Sunshine Autos. The cutscene shows us talking to BJ Smith, the football player that we met on Cortez's yacht. At first, I thought the asset missions were the races, so I did 3 or 4 races, and I won all of them with decent times, and you get good money from them. But then when I went to do the next one, this message appeared on my screen and it intrigued me. Now again, I can remember doing this as a kid. To the right of the garage, there is a list of cars. The first car on that list is the Landstalker. Quite honestly, one of the easiest cars to find. The reason why, if you go to the dirt track at the top of the downtown area, you can find a dirt bike and a Landstalker just off of the dirt track there. I did, however, roll it on the way back. I have a habit for that, apparently. It exploded, but luckily there was one nearby that this guy kindly gave to us. Now, I'm not going to make you watch me collect every car. I feel like that's pointless. I do want to make it clear that if you play through Vice City, even the definitive edition, you need to get all of the cars for this. That's how you progress, not the races. But we'll admit, the races are pretty fun. The last car that you get on this is the Ballista Compact, and for me, it was the one that took me the longest. I eventually found it at the stadium that is at the top left of the downtown area, and it is called the Hyman Memorial Stadium. That hasn't been confirmed to return in GTA 6 yet, but who knows? You know, this game was set in the 80s, and GTA 6 is going to be set kind of like modern day, like the 2020s, I guess. A lot's changed in 40 years. After getting all of the cars and completing the asset mission, I finished the races as well, again, because they were fun, and it also gives you quite a bit of money. That takes us on to the next property, which I decided to do the Malibu Club. But first, I just had to do this. I've not seen one of these trucks for the whole time I've been playing this. And you know, when you see a truck like this, you just have to do it. Also, for those of you that played Vice City and San Andreas growing up, you know that if you see one of these on the road, you have to fight that impulsive thought. You're behind one of them on a road and you're like, I could do it. I could recreate that GTA thing. And then you remember how much it is to repair your car nowadays, and you decide differently. The asset missions for the Malibu Club start with Ken Rosenberg. We have a discussion and decide we are breaking a guy out of the police headquarters. I did a really dumb move with this because I completely forgot that you can get a police uniform. And I died. So the next attempt, I do actually go there and pick up the police uniform. It does take another 2 attempts, but we managed to get Cam Jones back to his garage. Next, we need someone who can use a gun. Cam tells us that the best shooter in the city is a guy called Cassidy. We go and see Cassidy and he tells us that if we can beat his record, he will talk to us. We have 3 tests to do and we have to beat 60. I beat it, only by 3, but it still counts. The discussion's quite quick. He agrees to help us. Next, we need a driver. Cassidy tells us we need a guy called Hillary. Again, this is another one where you need to beat him at his own game, so this time it is in a race. Again, this took a few attempts because at the end, every time it was like the second to last corner, I would be hit by 2 police cars that I just couldn't avoid. The next part of this is to actually rob the bank. Again, took a few times and I got closer each time. On the final attempt, I accidentally killed Cam. We continue through the mission and Hillary also goes down. So at this point, it is just Tommy and Cassidy with all tires popped. We managed to make it to the pay and spray and we paint a yellow taxi yellow and they suddenly don't recognize us. I mentioned this before, but GTA logic with the pay and spray stuff is great. I love it. We head to the lockup that is owned by Cam and we make 50k. Mercedes is there waiting for us and asks if we want a massage. How nice of her to offer a back massage after a very hard day at the office. And that's the asset complete for the Malibu. On the way to whatever it is I was doing next, we get a call from Ken saying that he has had Sonny on the phone threatening his family. Tommy says that no one is going to take them out. He promises Ken this. Now, the last property I decided on was the film studio. The cutscene starts with Tommy arguing with the director, Steve Scott, again, someone who we met on the boat, and he tells him that he has just bought the place. Steve tells us that for the film he is making, he needs more female cast members. We go and pick up Candy Sucks, who again, we met on the yacht. But before she agrees to take on the role, we have to take out her agent, we'll say. Now, with him out of the picture, we go back to Candy and then head to Mercedes. The only problem is the car I'm in only has 2 seats. There is a car across the street that has 4, so we take that. With both girls in the car, we head back to the studio. Next mission, we need to find a way to distribute the flyers to promote the film. We take a plane that is at the back of the studio and start letting the flyers loose. Close to the end of this mission, things don't go as planned, and I crashed into a building and go down. Next attempt, similar thing happens. I hit another building. Crazy, I hit 2 buildings back to back. I got stuck on the ground this time though, and I can't seem to get it back up. We've all been there. One final attempt, and I managed to complete the mission and move on to the next one. For this one, we need to follow Candy and see what her and a politician called Alex Shrub, again, someone we met on the yacht, see what they're getting up to. For this one, I decided to take a helicopter, but you can't get high enough to actually land on the roof of the hotel that you need to take pictures from. Luckily, there's a little balcony part. I don't actually think it's balcony. I think it's like an overhang. Either way, it works. Snap some pictures and head back to the studio. As we get back to the studio, I get shot at a lot. My helicopter is set on fire and I am just in time to jump out as it explodes and close enough to the ground that it doesn't kill me. The next mission, and Tommy decides we need a big stunt, something to do with a searchlight to promote this. We go to an office elevator. We need to take this bike across the rooftops, and of course, I fail at the first jump, so it's time to try again. We make a good amount of progress before the bike starts with heavy black smoke, and I decide I'm near to the dirt track, so I'll switch to a different bike, and it's a dirt bike. Back up the ladder, and we continue until we get to the searchlight. Tommy turns it to the building, showing something of candies that I can't show on here. Even for 2002, you would need to censor this. They are unbelievably good quality, that's all I'm going to say. And that is the property asset mission stunt for the film studio. That is also the final property that we needed to get. We get a call from the printworks saying that we need to be there as soon as possible because something's happened. I mentioned before all this started that I got these, but I don't think this was the best order to do them in. First off, I think the first one I should have got is the Malibu Club. It is the most expensive one to purchase out of all of these. Personally, I think that definitely Malibu Club first because, like I say, it's the most expensive. It is also the one that generates the most money. Then my next one would have been Sunshine Autos. Then it would have been the Boatyard and the Film Studio. And then finally Pole Position. If you are playing through it, keep that in mind because these are the ones that give you the most money and they are also some of the easiest ones to do. The taxi one and the ice cream one, I can remember them. They were just tedious missions that you just had to do constantly. You had to do a certain amount of missions. They're just boring. These feel like they add depth to the story. This is what I meant when I said you need Printworks because without Printworks, you can't get this mission, which means you can't progress. At the Printworks, we are told that Sonny's guys have been and attacked the old man that has been helping us. Sonny's men are taxing our properties and we need to kill them before they can tax all of them. We get the first two easy enough. They're on a bike, dead easy. The second group are also on a bike, so it's dead easy for them as well. That's the entire mission. We then get another call. This time it's from Lance telling us to get to the mansion. When we are there, we see Rosenberg and Lance. They tell us that Sonny and his boys are coming down to see the business. Tommy knew that this was coming, but he thought it was going to be sooner. He then tells Ken to put 20 million in briefcases. It's a little bit confusing though, because the subtitles show that it said 3.
Ken, you get the first run of counterfeit cash and put 20 mil in briefcases.
I don't really know what happened with that. Anyway, he tells Lance to get the guys together. We meet Sonny at the bottom of the stairs.
Tommy! What? No big hugs for your old buddy?
I've had 15 years out of the loop. I'm a bit rusty on family etiquette.
Oh, he's angry, huh, Tommy? Didn't I say your temper would get you into trouble, huh?
There's 3 mil in the cases.
How many was it, 10? No, 11 men. That's how you get to be called the Howard Butcher.
You sent me to kill one man. One man! They knew I was coming, Sonny.
Tommy, watch your tone. Anyone would think you blame me for that unfortunate set of circumstances.
Just take the money.
Get the damn cash. You know, Tommy, I did what I could for you. I pulled strings, called in favors. I was your friend, Tommy. I hoped you'd see sense, see what's good for business. I trusted you, Tommy, and you disappointed me. But at least someone in your chicken shit organization knows how to do business. Isn't that right, Lance?
Sorry, Tommy. This is Vice City. This is business.
You sold us out.
No, I sold you out, Tommy. I sold you out. The real cash is upstairs in the safe.
So, Tommy, what was the big plan? You think I just take the fake cash, save face, and run away with my tail between my legs?
No. I just wanted to piss you off before I kill you.
In my opinion, best line of the game. Now we need to defend our home, our business, everything that we have built. I failed this many times, but the main premise of this is you keep killing Sonny's guys until Lance shows up. You end up following Lance out to the rooftop. There's a few people up there with him. Now, the best way to do this, as soon as you get outside, make a run forwards and right towards the helipad. Just stick around there, because if you don't, you will get obliterated. You can't take them all on. As you can see in this, we end up taking Lance down with an M4. Genuinely, the best thing you can do for this, especially against Lance, is use an M4 or a Kruger. For any other gun you use in this game, whether it's a pistol, submachine gun, whatever, if you try to aim, it auto locks onto specific people. I had it a few times where it was locking on through a wall to a red barrel. From what I got on this, the best thing to do is get onto the helipad, try and position yourself so that you can see through the railing and shoot him in the head as much as you can. With Lance down and the rest of the people on the stairs down, which by the way, you don't have to get rid of them. As long as you get Lance, you can just run back. We head back to the main stairs, which again triggers another cutscene.
You took 15 years from me, Sonny, and now I'm gonna make you pay!
You still don't get it, do you? I own you, Tommy. Those 15 years were mine to spend.
The best thing I found for this fight is if you run straight downstairs and into the room on the left and just stay around there, there's health and armor that spawns in there. There's also a revolver that spawns in there that you have in your inventory, and it just tops up the ammo. That is if you need it. After some time, I end up getting a good angle on Sonny when he finally collapses down.
Tommy? Oh my God, Tommy, what happened?
What does it look like?
It looks like you ruined your suit, and Tommy, that was a beautiful suit. Tommy, what on earth happened?
Had a disagreement with a business associate. You know how it is.
Tommy, I have a disagreement. I send them an angry letter. Maybe I pee in their mailbox. I don't start World War III. You know, maybe you should speak to my shrink.
That stupid prick Lance.
Tommy, I never liked that guy, okay? He's neurotic, he's insecure, he's self-centered. The guy's an asshole. I'm glad you took him out.
I don't think we're gonna be getting any more heat from up north either. Because there ain't no up north anymore. It's all down south now.
Wait, does that mean what I think it means? Tommy, baby!
What do you think it means?
That we're in charge. I mean that you're in charge. Oh, Tommy!
You know, Ken, I think this could be the beginning of a beautiful business relationship. After all, you're a conniving, backstabbing, two-bit thief, and I'm a convicted psychotic killer and drug dealer.
I know. Ain't it just beautiful?
And with the greetings from Vice City screen coming up, we end Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I will leave you with me reacting in real time, as I have a couple of things to say about this, obviously. Honestly, my favorite GTA game, and for good reason. The story is incredible. It's based in the 80s, which is my favorite decade. I love a lot of music from the 80s. I actually think that this is the reason why I like so much music from the 80s. A little bit of like background information about me. I played this a lot when I was a kid, but I never really did the missions. I just used to like driving around listening to the 80s music. And I have wanted a GTA game set in Vice City for such a long time. So when I heard that GTA 6 was going to be set in Vice City, I was extremely excited about it. Obviously, with GTA 6 being set in Vice City, there's a lot of stuff that's in this game that is going to be in GTA 6, but it's going to be more updated. One of the things that we have already seen is the Ocean View Hotel, and that looks incredible from what I've seen. Like, obviously it's such an improvement on this. This came out in like 2002, I think. And yeah, it's just a brilliant all-round game. Even after playing it now, it is still my favorite Grand Theft Auto. There's so many good things with this. I mean, the cast alone is incredible. Pretty sure I've mentioned this already. The radio station and music stuff that's just coming up. I love the music in this game. My favorite radio station is Flash FM, as it comes up. And there is a few other ones I do really like. There's not many radio stations on this that I don't like. It does, in my opinion, have one of the best music selections of any GTA game, but I will be biased about that because I love 80s music. And I think that's just going to take us to outside of the Vanzetti estate. Yeah. With a $30,000 mission passed bonus. Oh.
Tommy, it's Paolo. How are you? Right, mate. Anyway, thought I had to drop you a line. Oh, my good lord, my son, you will not believe the quality of the brass I just encountered. Streetwalker or something just down in Little Havana, mate. Said the name was Mercedes or something. Oh, my God, mate, you've got to check this bird out. Could strip the lead out of a pencil. Said I was the best you ever had, and all. Keep your potato skin for. I'll be seeing ya.
And it was just Kent Paul who was telling us about Mercedes. Oh, another phone. Jesus Christ, he's a popular guy. I just want to talk.
Tommy, Tomas, it's Cortez. ¿Qué pasa?
Things are interesting. How are you, my friend?
I wanted to ask you about Mercedes.
Okay. What about her?
Oh, Tommy, I hear these stories, all these stories. I don't know what to think. Maybe she thinks she could do what she likes. But Tommy, tell me, is it true?
Is what true?
These stories I hear. She really going to be a lawyer? Tommy, the shame. You know, we Cortez are a proud family. We would never allow a daughter of ours to become a lawyer. Please tell me it isn't so. I don't think I could take it.
Oh, Colonel, I can assure you, Mercedes is never going to become a lawyer. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thank you, Tommy. Tommy, thank you. The shame would be unbearable. Anyway, Tommy, you must excuse me, all right? The new Minister of Interior has arrived. Many years ago, I killed his father in a failed coup, so I must be polite. Hey, good day, amigo.
Okay. See if I can get this done without a fucking phone call. It's nice to come out and kind of see the aftermath, like the 3 limos outside that I'm guessing are from Sonny's little adventure. There was a car down that side, but it's gone. And I'm wondering if Lance's is still here. I will get that in a second. Okay, Lance's is. That's cool.
Tommy Facchetti. How's it going, Mr. Big Shot? I hear all these things about you. Some kind of player in town now, eh?
Paul, you're drunk.
Nah, you stupid pal. I ain't drunk. I had a couple and some treats. I've been a bit for a couple of days, you know. Anyway, don't give me that. I ain't a mug. Who set you up in this town? Oh, me. That's who.
Really?
Don't give me that. Don't. I introduced you to people. I showed you the ropes. Did a lot of stuff for you, and this is how you repay me. You ignore me. You won't give me a way in, or after all I did for you. What do you think I am, a div or something?
Paul, take it easy. I've been busy. Don't be an idiot.
I ain't no idiot, mush. That's what I said in Borstal. You ask skip the trouble, son, because you're going to get it. Tommy, mate, please. Use me big hope, please. Don't laugh at me.
Paul, get some sleep. Seriously.
I really hope that's the last phone call, not because I'm sick of them. That is one of the reasons. But one of the first lines in the... Actually, I believe it's Tommy's first line that you hear him speak when he's in Vice City. He says to Kent Rosenberg,
"Go get some sleep."
And it'd be really nice if it ends on him saying pretty much the same line, but to a different person. I'll leave you guys on top of the Facchetti estate. That's going to do it from me. I hope you have a nice day, night, whatever time it is for you. I'll see you in the next one. Is it far down to the floor? Oh, there's like more roof than I thought. Oh, you could survive that. Told you. It looks like the sun's about to set. See you later. This was truly incredible to go through again, and I know I could have done the definitive edition, but I didn't want to. I wanted to do the original. That was interesting. That was actually really fun to do.